Good afternoon, everybody. Matt M. Roy back once again. Well, it's been almost a week since you guys have heard anything from me. Um, Not been doing well. I shouldn't say haven't been doing too much. I've actually been doing quite a bit, but not a lot of videos, mainly because of the heat and the weather we've been having. We've been having a lot of rain, a lot of thunderstorms at night, a lot of lightning, and just the oppressive heat. I'm telling you, I get up around 7:30, 8 o'clock every morning, and by then it's at least 82 to 85 degrees actual temperature. Factor in the heat index, it's more like 95 or 100, and that's it around 8 o'clock in the morning. The rest of the day, the heat indexes have been anywhere between 105 to 115 on our hottest day. So, unfortunately, I really just haven't had the motivation to do any videos. I mean, a lot of the stuff I like to film, of course, is outside, and it's just too hot. I mean, you when it gets that hot, when you have a heat index over 100, you just cannot function. Your mind doesn't work right. Your body doesn't work right. I will tell you this though, I am still getting my bike rides in every morning. I don't care how hot it is. I'll go for at least a half an hour, maybe an hour bike ride, and by the time I get home, I have totally sweat through the shirt, and that's been pretty much that way the entire week since you guys have seen me. And I've been doing that the whole summer. It's not been fun at all, but I'm committed, and I have to keep the exercise up. Yeah, I probably should be committed, right? Being out in this kind of heat like that. Chet Boulay is here, and George Blakely. Nice. We got three people. I had no idea who was going to come to this live stream. I just wanted to do it really quickly. Give you guys some updates, let you guys know of a few things that I have been doing. I did just get another computer haul in. I didn't film it because there was nothing really super interesting in this one. It was mainly like older Gateway, slimline desktops, bunch of monitors, a couple of Fujitsu tablet laptop convertibles. Those I might film at a later date if they're worth salvaging. One of them is missing a key. The other one seems to be in good shape. But I'll tell you an interesting story about this. I had to go over on the peninsula, and those of you guys that live near me will probably know the name Warwick Boulevard. It's down by the shipyards. And I picked all this IT equipment up from one of those free clinics that had closed up about a year ago. So let's just say it wasn't in the best neighborhood, and I wanted to get it done really quick because it just was really sketchy there. And actually, to make it even safer, we took my Tahoe, Dad and I actually backed it up over the curb right to the ramp, and we literally just went in and out really quick. We loaded up my Tahoe in about 10, 15 minutes with all that stuff after we made the deal. And I paid up a little bit for the stuff, but I didn't overpay. And that's something that a lot of you guys have asked me. You're like, Matt, what are you supposed to be paying for this used computer equipment or this used IT stuff? And that's a hard question to answer because I'd have to know, of course, how old it is. You kind of have to use your best judgment. And as I've said before, a lot of these people are almost willing to give this stuff away. And I really got this stuff at almost a giveaway price, honestly. The best I can tell you is get it for as cheap as you possibly can. Chipley says, I go to school at CNU off Warwick. All right, yeah, so you know the area I'm talking about. Let's see, what else have we been up to lately? Oh, one thing I want to let you guys know, Best Buy has a really good deal on solid state hard drives this week. I just purchased two of them myself. They are the SanDisk, I believe, 240 gigabyte SSDs for $40 a piece. And I got the last two that were actually physically in my Best Buy store. So you guys can check Best Buys near your location. Of course, you can have them shipped to your house, but I want to get them quickly because I want to use them in a couple of new projects that I'm doing. Let me see if I can share that link with you if I can find it here. Here we go. They're SanDisk 240 gig SSD plus drive. So I'm thinking they probably have the NAND memory in that. There you go. You guys can click on that link if you're interested. Let me see. Data transfer rates up to 600 megabytes per second. SATA 3 interface, 240 gigabyte storage capacity, which is actually really good. That's what I run in all of my main rigs. I have a 240 gig Crucial MX200 SSD M2 in this one. My Media Center PC has the same thing, but just the standard laptop 2.5-inch SSD. And that's really more than enough for a boot drive and to store a good amount of files too. I actually store a lot of my pictures and even some music on the SSD, and I actually still have about 60 gigabytes left. And that's one thing that's really nice about solid state hard drives. You can pretty much fill them up 80-90%, and you won't lose any performance because, again, it's not a physical hard drive. It doesn't store your information on a platter. So yeah, I mean, most people can get away with a 240 gig SSD. And then, of course, you also want to have, if it's a desktop, you want to have another hard drive in there, say something like a 2 terabyte or a 3 terabyte Western Digital or a Seagate conventional drive. And that would give yourself a lot of storage space. Stephen Barber, looks like he got his HP back. Yeah, they've been having a lot of problems with the modern HPs. Not just the Omens like you have, but HP's been having some quality control issues recently. And one thing that drives me absolutely crazy, and I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to try to turn the webcam, but you see that desktop right over there? That's one of those. That's one I got yesterday in that haul, and that's one of those HP Pro Series systems. I think that one's like a 35 or 3600. One thing that drives me nuts is all of the screws in that are Torx. The case screws, everything in that is a Torx screw. So it makes it really hard to work on that computer yourself because, let's face it, the average consumer is not going to have a Torx screwdriver set readily available. And they do that on purpose. They do that so you purposely can't work on your own computer. So that's why lately HP's really been bothering me. And I've never been a huge fan of Hewlett-Packard computers to begin with. If you guys watch Carrie Holzman, he talks in depth about how much he loathes Hewlett-Packard as a company. I try to stick with Dells mostly. You guys know I'm a big Dell fan, or custom built systems. But, when you're getting computers like I do in big lots, you pretty much have to get what you can. And in this case, that HP was included. Now, I do have to say the build quality on the HP Pro Series systems are really, really superior to their consumer grade stuff. So if you do have to get an HP because you really want one, get a Pro Series, or at the very least get one of their industrial grade or business grade systems versus one of their consumer systems. Oh, excuse me. Very dry again. And that's another problem we've been having. Hey, you want to come in and say hi? We're doing a live stream.
Oh, I can't read down
that. Okay. Hey, my. Yeah. Going to try to get Mom in here, but I think she's really busy right now. I'll try to do a video where I show some of the things I picked up on this last haul. One thing that I was really happy to get as I was leaving, I noticed they had a HP LaserJet printer on the ground. It was a HP LaserJet 3015. So basically the newer model to my 4015 that's over there. And they had a note on it and it said, please discard, printer is broken. and I noticed that right next to that printer there was a brand new toner cartridge for it. And I asked the lady about it. I'm like, well, what's going on with this printer? She's like, oh, you don't want that. That's broken. We took that out of service 2 years ago. And I'm looking at the printer. The printer is from 2014. I'm like, okay, so this is 2019. They took the printer out of service 2 years ago. So the printer was only 3 years old. I'm like, something just doesn't add up. And I said to myself, you know what? I'll bet you the reason it wasn't working is because it needed to have that new toner cartridge, and the people they had working there just probably didn't know how to install it. So I said, well, can I have it? So you just throw it out? She's like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, well, can I take the toner cartridge too? Because it's not going to be of any use to you guys anymore. And she's like, yeah, go for it. So I got it home, and wouldn't you know, I turned it on and it actually worked right off the bat. I mean, I didn't even have to put in the new toner cartridge. I turned it on, booted it up. I physically hooked it up to a computer I had downstairs, installed it, installed the driver automatically in Windows 10, printed a test page, and it worked all right. Albeit the toner was really low on that cartridge that was in there. It was actually telling me that. So, it was really dim, the print, but I knew that was because it was just low on toner. So, make a long story short, I brought it upstairs, hooked it into my network because it actually has a HP Jet Direct card in it, and even that worked. So I think I was right. I think the only reason they took that printer out of service is because it needed a new toner cartridge, and they probably just didn't know how to put it in, which is really odd, though, because the toner cartridge was sitting right next to it. So that was a nice score. That is going to be a printer I'm going to try to keep in my room. And I also picked up a one of those HP Color LaserJet 2300Ns. That's still sitting in the Tahoe. I haven't even had a chance to work on that yet. So once I get all this stuff up and running, I'll do like a vlog video and I'll give you guys an update. Dabbler's Buffet says, hey, how you doing? Nice to see you here. 6 people. Wow, I'm really surprised for the time of day. And I wasn't really planning on a live stream today. The only reason I did is because I looked at my history and I realized I haven't done a video in like 4 days. And there are a few people on here that are going to be really concerned. They're like, well, I hope Matt's okay. I hope nothing's wrong. Chipotle goes, I've been away for about 2 weeks. Any new vehicles or any new updates on the Tahoe or other vehicles? I haven't purchased anything new. I'm still actively looking at selling the van. I think my dad's going to actually buy the van for me. So it's really going to stay in the family, but he's wanted one for the longest time, and I don't need 3 vehicles. It's actually killing me. Not just the car payments, but the insurance for the 3 vehicles is adding up to a lot each month. So I think what's going to happen is I'm going to try to pay off the van because I actually don't owe a lot on it right now. I'm going to try to pay it off as quick as I can, and then I'll get the title. He'll buy it from me, and then we'll have it retitled in his name. Now, the nice thing about that is if that happens, there is a chance that I might buy a third beater vehicle or a third older vehicle, because what's actually killing me not only is the car payment each month, but also the insurance, because the van, being that it's a newer vehicle and it has a note on it, I have to have full coverage. So I'm paying a lot in insurance for that each month. So a lot of things are up in the air right now. We're just going to have to see what happens. Check goes, good to hear the van is staying in the family. As far as I know, it's not definite. There's still a chance that I may just have to sell it privately, but for now, it's going to be staying put. Mike Paradin is here from Montreal. That's right. I remember. That's one thing I remember. I have a selective memory, like a lot of us do these days, but I do remember you, and I do remember you're from Montreal, being that my extended family, my granddad's parents were actually from Quebec. Sherbrooke was the area they lived for many, many years. North of the border. This isn't going to be a super long live stream because I actually probably have to end this around 2:30 because I do need to run and pick up those SSDs. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask them right now because I only have a few more minutes here. hopefully we can get some more interesting. I really want to do some more cooking videos when Mom feels up to it. Maybe we can do some more with the Instapot. How are Milo and Baxter? They're doing just fine. Milo was right at the door. Baxter, I think, was in Mom's chair in the den. I don't know if I think the weather's really getting to him. I'm going to be honest with you. I have just not been myself this last month. I've been really cranky. I've just been really kind of bleh. And I think a lot of it, again, has to do with this heat. This has been the hottest summer on record, I think, in about 30 years here. Specifically, June and August have been really brutally hot. And I'm hoping that we maybe only have about 2 or 3 more weeks of this really high heat. And I looked at the extended forecast starting Saturday. We're supposed to get a break, and it's not supposed to even get into the 80s. It's going to be like in the mid 70s. So that's going to be really nice. But tomorrow and Friday, we're still going to have to deal with these 100 plus heat indexes. Not fun, not fun at all. All right, tubers, I'm ending the live stream here. I'm sure a lot of you guys will see it when it's re-uploaded later. Thank you for those of you that were able to make it. Please continue to like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.